Alright, hey, HadesOmega here, and guess what? I'm a UPSer again. Okay, guys, so it's peak season 2025, alright? 2025 going into 2026, and HadesOmega's doing this gig again, alright, man? I've been doing this for, it's gotta be around five peak seasons already. More than that, man. So, yeah, I've been doing it every peak season for a while. Like I mentioned before in previous videos, it's a different experience every year, okay, guys? And that's no exception to this year, alright, guys? So I might go compare what happened last year to what happened this year a couple times, alright? But so this is my early 2025 peak season vlog, okay, guys? So usually the way I've been doing it now is I do like a early vlog and then a post peak season vlog, alright, guys? So after, alright? So this is kind of like the before video, and then there's going to be an after video when it's all over, alright, guys? I know my videos, my SSD or PVD videos, they get really popular this time of year, okay, guys? I get lots of people asking questions, lots of people watching my videos and stuff, and yeah, it changes every year. But so I'm going to talk about my experience with the hiring process this time, like where I'm working and what I'm doing. All right, today was my first day on the job, all right, guys, and it's November 19th, 2025, all right? So the difference between this year and last year is we started way earlier, okay, guys? Like I said in previous videos, the ideal time that you want to be doing this job is like around Thanksgiving, all right? Around Thanksgiving, Black Friday, that type of day, all right? And then all of December, okay, guys? That is the peak season, okay, guys? Particularly after Black Friday is when it gets all crazy, all right? So now this is just kind of like we're like in the crawl and walk phase, all right? Yeah, you know, in the army they have like different phases. They have the crawl, the walk, and the run, right? So we're kind of like in the crawl phase, transitioning into the walk phase, okay, guys? Yeah. So last year I started after Black Friday, pretty much right when December hit is when I started working, okay, guys? So I got started working a lot quicker, all right? I think we're only halfway. We're a little bit more than halfway through November, and I'm already working, all right? So that's kind of unheard of, all right? I've had it so where I've worked maybe like a week before Thanksgiving week, all right? I think this is the earliest I've ever started for the UPS PVD SSD job, okay, guys? And so I guess they just started hiring early this year, because last year, I don't know, maybe I checked too late last year, but last year I was checking and they weren't hiring until like almost December started, okay? I remember like Thanksgiving Day or something, or the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, when I looked at the UPS jobs website, an opening opened up, all right, for the San Jose center, okay, or the San Jose UPS building and all that stuff, okay. But this year, when November hit, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna check the UPS jobs website every week, all right. And so like pretty much at the beginning of November is when I started applying already, all right, guys. So I saw the job listing like right at the start of November, right? Like November 1st, November 2nd, and I started filling out the application right away. I was like, oh, they're already taking thing already, all right? So I did that. I filled out the application, and I kind of it's different every year, guys. So every year there's less and less stuff that you have to do for the applications, which is, I guess it's kind of good, but they still have that damn tax thing, man. So what held me up the most in the application process is that freaking I-9 tax form, all right? The one where you have to have somebody review it and stuff, and they have to be with you, and then I guess you send the thing over to their phone, and they verify it, and then, yeah, all that stuff, all right? That took me almost like half a week or something, a couple days for it to get done, okay? And then something happened after that, all right? But anyway, so I filled out the application, And it was pretty much the same as last time. You just fill out all your info. I think most of your info is already in there if you already have a UPS Jobs account. All right, and so I applied for the San Jose SSD, the seasonal support driver job. Okay, so yeah, that's what they're calling it now, guys. All right, it used to be called personal vehicle delivery driver, but for the last couple of years they've been calling it SSD. All right, seasonal support driver. All right, either one works for me. Okay, I started filling out the application. Nothing too difficult until you get to all the tax stuff. All right. And then yeah, so that hugged me up for a couple days, and then I did it with my sister, and she wasn't even with me. We did it through like with Google through like a Google Chat or something. Okay, guys, yeah, we did it through a chat, and I was able to do it that way. Okay, I just have to send the info back and forth, and then I need to send her the link, and then she looks at it, and then like she has to do some stuff, and then it says, hey, you're good. All right, so. I think we're already like a week through like the application process, man. So like remember at the beginning of November, I had already started applying, and then every day they ask more stuff. All right, so some of the stuff for the application is like the pictures of your license, and then yeah, they have to look at it. So I actually got a new driver's license this year, so I had to make sure I had the correct one. All right. So here's the tip. If you're going to do this job every year, or you're going to be a seasonal helper or driver every year, all the pictures you take, save them, all right? So HadesOmega has a folder on his computer that says UPS, PVD, or SSD. And then like all my photos and all the stuff to help me apply for the job are like in there already. So it's already got all the pictures of my car. So they're going to want that. They're going to want pictures of your car, the front, the back, the sides, that kind of stuff. They're gonna they don't want you to have any like bumper stickers with some offensive stuff on it. All right, that kind of stuff. If you have some kind of stickers on your car, I mean it's okay as long as it's not offensive, is all I want to say. Okay, yeah, I'll tell you all the stuff that happened on the first day. Okay. Yeah, and then your driver's license, and then you're gonna have to have like 2 forms of like ID or something. All right. You can have like a passport, which is mine is expired, man. So I couldn't use that. I have to renew my passport, or a passport card. I think I used my driver's license. Oh, my social security card. Yeah, I used my social security card. Okay, social security card, green card, that kind of stuff. Right? They give you a whole list of things that you can use for your IDs, and you have to have like 2 forms of IDs. Okay. So I think I used my driver's license and my social security card. That's what I used. Okay, and that's kind of like that's the first hurdle. All right, guys, to get all those pictures sent in. All right. I think what I did is I had them on I had most of them on my computer already, but I had to take new driver's license photos, and that was it. Okay, and then yeah, you got to put your bank information for direct deposit. Okay. I'm not sure. There might be a way that they can have you do the checks still. All right. Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a good question. They might still send out checks. I don't know, man. Before they had it where you can just go into the office and they have like a box full of checks and stuff, and you go in there and you look for your check and you take it. Okay, but I don't know if they do that anymore. Okay, I think for maybe the helpers they might be doing that, right? But I'm not sure. But I always do everything through direct deposit. So make sure you have your direct deposit info ready. I usually have a blank check, and I highlight what's the routing number and the bank account number and all that stuff. Okay, so there's some tips for the application, right? And so that's the first hurdle. Okay, guys, your bank info and then the pictures of your vehicle, the pictures of your driver's license, and I use a social security card. All right, and then so they gotta review all that. All right, so somebody's gonna go look at that, and then they say, okay. We're going to review your documents, and then you can get back to work, or back to work on your application, okay? And then so I think you'll either get a text message or an email saying like, hey, we reviewed your stuff and you can continue to fill out your application, all right? And then so you click the link that they send you through the text or the email, and then it'll bring you back to the application webpage, and you can start filling stuff out, okay? All right, and so this is at UPS Jobs. And but yeah, pretty much you're just going to use those links to finish your application. I know it's kind of a pain in the butt, guys, but for $38 an hour, it's freaking worth it, guys. Okay, so just bear with it, is what I want to say. Yeah, it's not the most easiest application process, man. And yeah, so actually they will do a background check on you also. Okay, so they're going to do a background check on you. So if you have any DUIs, any recent tickets, all right, moving violations and stuff, you can pretty much kiss that job goodbye. All right, guys. So yeah, stuff like that. All right, just make sure you're a good driver. All right, they don't want to hire drivers that are going to be a liability. Okay, that type of thing. Okay. Yeah, and just make sure your vehicle is in good shape, all right, for whatever vehicle you're going to use. My suggestion is a minivan is probably the best delivery vehicle you could you could use, all right, guys, because you can put a lot of packages in it, okay? HadesOmega uses a small SUV, all right? It's a 2021 Toyota RAV4 Prime. Okay? Yeah, okay, so I sent all that stuff in, and then they tell you to fill out, and then the next hurdle is the tax stuff, right, like I mentioned. So, and I'm not going to go into it because I already I did the thing with my sister. You know, we chatted back and forth, and then it went through, and then so it's already been like more than probably pretty much more than a week since I started the application process, and it said that job opening you were applying for is gone, and I was like, oh hell no! All right, so I think they ask you to pick up when your first day of work can be, okay. And then so the first day of work was like I think it was November 7th or 9th or 10th or something, somewhere around there, all right? And then so it listed a bunch of other openings that were close to me, all right? And one of them was like Oakland, and the other one was like Hayward or something, or it's somewhere far away, somewhere like I don't want to work, and for less money, all right? I think it was like $28 an hour versus $38 an hour. I'm like, what? So you want me to work someplace farther away for less money? I'm like, get out of here. So I said, all right, whatever, man. And so I just didn't do anything. All right, guys. And then but every day I would check back on the website. All right, I would click the continue button for the that was on that link on the email, and then one day, the job opening popped back up for San Jose. Okay, guys. There's a couple centers where I live. All right, guys. There's the San Jose center where I'm working at. There's a Fremont center where they actually deliver the packages where I live. All right, that's funny because I don't live in Fremont. I don't live anywhere near Fremont. Okay, guys. I'm like 2 cities over from Fremont. All right. And they are the ones that are delivering my packages, all right? And then there's Sunnyvale, okay? Those are the three. I've worked out of Sunnyvale, and I've worked out of San Jose before, but I've never worked at Fremont. I heard Fremont is like the newest facility, and it's the raddest. I might try to go work there 1 year, okay? But anyway, yeah, so the San Jose job opening popped up again, and so I clicked on it and said, yes, I want to apply for this, all right? And so remember how it said, like, your first day is going to be on this day? Well, it asks you to click on another date for your first day, and it was the week after, okay, guys? So I started on, like, the 17th, all right, guys? Yeah, I started on the 17th of November. That was supposed to be my first day, all right, or my orientation, okay, guys? So it's a little bit different than before. So yeah, HadesOmega is an Uber driver, and that's why I do the Uber driving when I'm not doing the UPS stuff. All right, guys. So somebody from Human Resources contacted me. All right, and so my first day or the orientation day was supposed to be on the 17th, but they asked me if you can come in early. We can do that. We can hire you early, type of thing. Okay, so. It was kind of like last year. I think they had us go to the center, all right. But we went to the customer service center, and they had a table out there, and then that's where we filled out all the paperwork and all that stuff. And we didn't do that this year, all right. What we did was like I said, somebody from HR contacted me. They told me to go to the guard check from like 10 a.m. to like 2 p.m. or something like that. All right, guys, or was it 11 to 12 or 11 to 1 or something? All right, and then you're supposed to go there and you're supposed to meet with the HR guy, and then you fill out all the documents for like you fill out the stuff for about your meals, you know, that kind of stuff, and the breaks and all that stuff. You fill out the union paperwork, okay, that kind of stuff. Yeah, the union paperwork and some other stuff, right? So you finish, basically you finish your application, all right, guys. And then yeah, so they have your phone number, and they sent me a text message. So that's how I knew, right? So somebody from the HR texted me, okay? And then yeah, so I turned it in, and I told them, hey, so what do I can't start until next week anyways, because I had a motorcycle race that weekend, but it got canceled anyway. So but I told them, like, yeah, I can't really start until the 17th anyway. And so they told me, don't go on the 17th. That's not going to be your first day, all right? And they told me to wait for a text message from my supervisor, okay? So guess what? HadesOmega is working in the Morgan Hill Center this year, okay, guys? Different than last year, all right? So I'll tell you this. HadesOmega has been working at UPS so long that the San Jose Center used to have 3 centers in it, all right? 3 different centers, or 3 different, like, divisions or whatever. They had the Berryessa, Almaden, and they had Morgan Hill, okay? So those areas are all kind of like in the same kind of area. So HadesOmega lives in the Berryessa area, by the way, okay? So I think they got rid of the Berryessa area and they brought it to Fremont, like I mentioned. Okay, so there's some history about UPS in the area that HadesOmega lives. Okay, in San Jose. But yeah, so HadesOmega applied for the San Jose one, and so in San Jose they only have 2 centers now, Almaden and Morgan Hill. So HadesOmega got hired at the Morgan Hill one. Okay, it's for like the longest time. HadesOmega has worked at the Almaden Center, and now we're working at the Morgan Hill Center. So I don't know. It's like I said, every year is different, right? And this year is no exception, all right, guys. Yeah. So I got hired. So my supervisor contacted me from the Morgan Hill Center, and he told me that they can't start us until the 15th. And then they're gonna start training us by waves, all right? So they're gonna take a bunch of us at a time, train us up on different dates, all right? So my date was the 19th, all right? Today, okay? So HadesOmega's just doing his Uber thing until today, and then yeah, okay. So this is how my first day of work went, all right, guys? And then that's the end of the vlog, all right, guys? So yeah, so my supervisor texted me like, hey, this is what's gonna happen, all right? On the 19th, you're gonna go to the you're gonna get a text message, and then you gotta reply to that text message, yes or no, all right? And then you're gonna get a link about the training, all right? there's some online training that you need to do, all right? So something different than before is that after you finish kind of the application process, you needed to go home, and then you did the online training, and then you got paid for it that way, all right? You did it at home. Well, the last 2 years we've done it at the center, okay, guys? So that's how it was this time. But I think last year there was some online training when you do the application process. It has you do the training. Some of the training online. It's really condensed, all right? And every year it gets more and more condensed. So this year, no training at all right? No online training. The online training that you're gonna do is the training that you're gonna do when you go to your center on the first day, okay? Because last year we did it twice, all right, guys? Last year I did the online training during the application. You do all the online training, and then you do it again when you go to the center, right? To make sure make sure you do it, sort of thing. Okay, and you do it on their phone or something, all right? So something like that, all right, guys. And then yeah, so that's the scoop, guys. There was no training before the first day, okay? So last year I did do online training before that, but then we wound up doing it again. And then when we were doing the training, I'm like, I did this training already. I already know all this stuff. So yeah, so this time they cut out that early training, and now they're just the you know, the training that you do, you basically watch a bunch of videos, right? And I'll get to that in a second, all right, guys. So I got a text message saying, hey, you got to meet at the building at you know, the San Jose Center, and you got to go to the guard shack, and a supervisor will sign you in, all right? At I think it was 10:30, yeah. So at 10:30, they're gonna have a supervisor come and grab everybody, and then we're gonna do the training, okay? It's your first day on the job, all right, type of thing. Okay, so that's what I did. I woke up 9:30 and I got ready, and then, like, yeah, sometimes it takes me roughly half an hour to get there, so I left at 10. I got there probably a few minutes before, like 5, 8, 10, like 10 minutes before I was supposed to get there. HadesOmega was in the Army, guys, okay, guys? So you got to be wherever you need to be 10 or 15 minutes before it starts, okay? That's HadesOmega, right? That's the Army way, okay? That's what I'm saying, all right? So that's just, you know, that's just ingrained in me, all right? So yeah, so I got there. You sign into the guard shack and you say, like, hey, I'm here for training. This is the time, and then yeah. So then I waited there, and then the supervisor came, and he took a roll call. All right, he made sure everybody was there. I think some people weren't or something. I think they said that the Almaden guys, their training was 30 minutes earlier. So because some of the Almaden guys, they came late and they tried to go with us, and they're like, no, this isn't the right center. Okay, so yeah, you can't just willy-nilly just go there whenever you want, all right, guys, because you need to be escorted into the building and type of stuff. Okay. Yeah, actually, we didn't even walk into the building. We drove into the building, all right? So that's what we did. So the supervisor, he got in his delivery van, and he told us, hey, go follow us. Okay? Just follow us into the building, all right? So the Morgan Hill Center is like on the last door of the freaking building, all right, guys? HadesOmega's worked out of the building for a long time now, okay? But anyway, yeah, so we drive into the building, all right? Yeah, we got to honk the horn before we go in, that type of stuff. And then we all parked in there, and then we did the online training, okay? So you click the link, and it takes you to the videos. I think you gotta put your employee number. How everybody else got their employee number, I have no idea, all right, guys? Maybe somebody texts it to you or something, or somebody calls you or something, but I had my employee number from previous years, okay? I wrote it down on a piece of paper, or it's on my phone. It's in a notepad app in my phone, and I write it down, all right? So I also, before I even came to the building, all right, or before the first day of work, HadesOmega had already been preparing for work, okay, guys? So I have there's like a drawer, there's a place I keep all my UPS stuff, okay, guys? I keep my clipboard that has all the notes and everything on it. It's always good to have a clipboard, all right, guys? So those of you high-speed SSDs, you know, carry a clipboard with you, okay, guys? It's handy to just have a piece of paper to write on. They're going to give you a sheet of paper that has all the instructions that you need for your day of work, all right? It tells you, you know, how to log into the MDA, the password to get into the MDA, right? And then how to fill stuff out and all that, all right? It's going to be on there, okay, guys? But they're still using the trip tickets, the little cards, okay? Yeah, okay, so we did the online training, all right? Oh, yeah. Anyway, so the stuff that HadesOmega prepared for the first day of work, okay, guys? I made sure I got my pants out, all right? So these are the pants I'm wearing right now. All right, so cargo pants, man. Pockets help a whole lot, all right? So you're going to be carrying info notices with you. You're going to be carrying your dyad or MDA, whatever it's called. You're going to carry a pen, and they even gave us a marker this time, right? And then obviously, what else you got to carry with you? Your driver's license, right? Because you're going to be driving, so you got to have your wallet, and then you're going to have your keys, and then yeah, you should probably have your phone too, just in case you need to call them. All right, so those are the stuff that I prepared beforehand. Okay, guys. And then I have a moving blanket that I put inside the car so the packages slide around in there, okay? That way it's easier to grab them, all right? If HadesOmega had these rubber kind of all-weather floor mats, and like the packages stick to them. All right, so we don't want that. I want the packages to slide around so it's easy for me to grab them. Right. Also, I have gloves. Okay, I have those. I have these kind of grip gloves. All right, they're these gloves I got at Daiso, that dollar store. They have these camouflage gloves. All right, guys, and they have like a rubber on the fingers. All right, so those help. All right, gloves that make your hands more grippy help a whole lot. Okay, guys. So I bought like a whole bunch of those because they wear out after a while. All right, guys. But the problem with those rubber gloves is you can't use the MDA with it. All right, you need a touchscreen sensitive thing. So generally, what I do is I wear the rubber glove on the left hand, and then I have another glove that's a kind of sort of grippy glove, but it's not really. But it has a touchscreen sensitive material on it, so you can actually use the phone with it. Okay. So at least you get a little extra grip, all right, for your hands, type of thing. Okay. You would be surprised how much easier it is to pick up a package when your hands are grippy. Okay, guys, it's amazing, right? You feel like you got twice the strength. Okay, you can palm stuff easily. All right. Anyway, so also HadesOmega has a folding hand truck. Okay, guys. That's not something that you need to have. Okay, guys, but if you have something like that, it's a good idea to bring it. Right. HadesOmega invested in it a couple years ago, and I think it's paid itself off. All right, I honestly don't really use it unless I'm delivering packages. Anyway, all right, but it's a folding hand truck. All right, the deck folds up, and then the handle folds down. All right, so it fits in the car easily. Right? It doesn't take up a whole lot of space. You can still put a lot of packages in the car. It's what I used when I worked at Golden State overnight. Okay, guys, so I know the value of having a hand truck. Okay. You're probably SSD's probably not gonna use it a lot, but I'm not gonna lie, there's been more than a handful of situations where a hand truck comes in handy. All right, like if you delivering to an apartment complex, okay, you deliver to an apartment complex, and you got to park your vehicle one place, and then you have to go in and deliver the packages, and there's a crap ton of packages to deliver because there's a bunch of apartments. You know, you can't just keep on going back and forth to the truck. You know. And that's where a hand truck comes in handy. Okay, you can put everything on the cart and just wheel it around and then deliver it, and then when you come back, you got nothing, right? So, and then heavy packages and multiple packages. All right, so let's say you've got like 5 packages for this one address, and they weigh like 20 pounds each. Man, you don't want to carry all those at the same time. It's best to put it on a hand truck and wheel it up there. All right, anything to make the work easier on you. All right, because it's hard work, guys. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that's the hand truck, and I think that was it. That's pretty much all. And then I have these trunk organizer. Okay, if you guys don't know what a trunk organizer is, it's one of those things that expands, and it has cubbies in it. Okay, guys. It has compartments that you can put stuff in there so they don't roll around all over the place. I have 2 of those, all right? So I have 4. So if I have 2, and when it expands, I have 4 cubbies, all right? 4 cubicle thingies that I can use to sort packages. That's where I put the flat packages and the really small packages. So you're going to get a lot of flat and small packages. You just put them in there, and I sort them that way, okay, guys? Yeah, so I'll put like the lower HIN numbers in one bin, and then the middle HIN numbers in the other bin. And if I have another ledge with me, all right, I'll put it on the other side. All right, so yeah, so there's that. Okay, guys. Preferably HadesOmega would prefer to take like one ledge. All right, one set, like a 7000s or 8000s. All right, that's what I did today, 7000, 8000s. Okay. Yeah, okay, so that's the prep that I did before the first day of work, okay, guys? And then, yeah, so I'm wearing the pants, all right, so also I have, man, I don't know where it went, man. Oh, here it is. I was looking for this thing, man. Yeah, I was tearing my room up looking for it today, man. All right, so I have this little pouch here, all right? It's kind of like a utility pouch or something. I used to use this when I was at Golden State overnight. It helps to have a pouch like this, a little holster, so you can put your... Where's my phone? All right, so the MDA is roughly the size of my phone, and this fits in there nicely. Okay, it makes a nice little holster for it. All right, so when you need to carry the packages and you need two hands, you can't carry the MDA at the same time. All right, so it's handy to have like a little holster to put it in. Okay, guys, and then you just take it out, and then you take the picture, and then you put, well, you don't have to put it back in. You won't have the package anymore. So, okay. So it's really helpful to have lots of pockets, all right? That's why I said wear pants that have cargo pockets, all right? Okay, yeah. So that's all the prep I did before actual work, all right, guys? And then, so yeah, we're doing the training. It tells you how to do how to log into the MDA, all right? It tells you how to work the MDA, all right? The mobile delivery app, I think is what it's called. It's like it's basically a dyad, okay, guys? It's a dyad that you use on a phone. Okay, the dyad is like the little device that the delivery drivers have, all right? But theirs has actual buttons and lasers and all that stuff, okay? Yeah. So there's going to be stuff about that. There's going to be stuff about workplace stuff, how to drive safe, how to deliver the packages safely. A lot of safety stuff, okay, guys. And then the training, the online training, all right, it's just a bunch of videos that you gotta watch, okay, guys. You gotta watch all the videos, and then you put your employee number, and then that's like your signature saying like, hey, I watched all the videos and stuff. I know what's up, all right. And then so after that, we met with the supervisor. He gave us our vests, okay, guys. He gave us our vests. He gave us info notice. These guys, all right. My suggestion is I have info notices from last year. I don't know if it's the same one, man. They change every year, so don't use the ones from. Oh, they're the same. Yeah, I guess this year's and last year's are still the same. They look the same to me, man. Okay, so yeah, my suggestion is make sure you grab a new one of these. In fact, you should grab more than one. All right, if your supervisor will give you more than one, take more than one. All right. So one thing I did with these one time, all right, story time with HadesOmega, I washed my pants. All right, the pants that I'm wearing right now with the cargo pockets, with the info notices in it. All right, and it just ruined. All the info notices were ruined. All right, guys. So it's a good thing. I think I had like another info notice thingy. All right, or what you could do is just split this in half. All right, split this in half. Keep one in your car, and then put one in your pocket. Okay, guys. So I highly doubt you're gonna go through a whole packet of info notices in the peak season. Okay, guys, but I used one today. All right, so I'll tell you that. All right. So yeah, so you're gonna get info notices. You're gonna get what else did they give me? They gave me a pen. All right, good old UPS pen. I got a bunch of these. They work great. And they gave me a marker. Okay, so they'd never given me a marker before. So the marker is for when you wanna write the HIN number. All right, that's the number that tells you where the it tells you where the package in your vehicle should be, like on the package car. So you can write it. All right, write it on the box so you can see it easily. So you're not hunting for the label, okay, guys? Because sometimes they put the labels in funky places and they're hard to see. So if you can write down what the number is, so let's say the HIN number says 7800, but the label is like on the bottom of the package and the address label is on the top, right? So if you want to make it easier on yourself for sorting purposes, write 7800 on the box in big numbers, all right, so you can see it easily, and then so when you're rifling through your car looking for the package, I'm looking for a package that's has a HIN of 7800. It's you can see it easily, all right. That's why they give you this, okay, guys. So I got that. I got the vest, and then I got a packet. It's in my car, so a packet with all the information, like I mentioned earlier, all right, how to log into the MDA, the stuff you're supposed to do throughout the day, and then we had extra training, okay, guys. Oh, we got some other stuff. We got a card. We got a trip ticket, all right, for our day's work. All right, that's the ticket that you're supposed to fill out, and it's basically your time card for the day, and it has your information of what you're going to be doing for the rest of the day. They gave us that, all right, because it has our name and everything on it already. Oh, and they gave us a card that says we're a seasonal helper. It's a big orange card that you're supposed to put on your dash. All right, so like so they said they gave an example of why they gave it to us. This is what's gonna happen a lot. All right, you're gonna be unloading stuff out of a truck a lot. All right, and so some people thought that somebody was robbing the truck or something because we were taking the packages out and putting it in our cars and stuff, and so that little placard that they give you, all right, that piece of paper is supposed to be a proof that you're a UPS employee, right? I mean, you figure if you're wearing this vest, they would know you're a freaking helper, right? You're helping them out, type of thing, all right? So there's that, okay, guys. I put it on my dash today, and then honestly, I couldn't even see it from the car. If you could tape it to your windshield, would be good, all right? Then people could see it, all right? But they said don't leave it if you're not working. Don't leave it on there. Okay, it's kind of like the Uber stickers, all right? So they want you to put the Uber stickers on your car so people know that like you're an Uber driver type of thing. Okay, yeah. Okay, so and then after that, we did the extra training. Okay, guys. They didn't do this with us last year, but this year they kind of went over the training again. All right, so the supervisor taught us all the stuff about the driving, you know, look left, look right, look left again, 3 to 5 seconds ahead, following distance. You should stop. Here's the one that, oh yeah, when you stop behind a vehicle, you want to stop so you can see the tires on the back. All right, if you can't see the tires, then you're too close. The UPS super safety driver stuff he went over with us. All right, so we had to sit there and then like we had to say like, yeah, we did this, we did that. All right, we had to fill out a bunch of other more stuff. Like, it seems like it's kind of redundant if you ask me, but I guess, you know, that's why we're at training, right, guys? A lot of those. And so there was must have been like 12 of us or something, all right? There was a bunch of us, all right? And all different kind of vehicles, all right, guys? I think somebody had like a Prius C. I was like, holy shit, man, that thing is a small vehicle, all right? At least it gets good gas mileage. But yeah, you're not going to be able to deliver a lot of packages out of that sucker, man. Yeah, so like HadesOmega mentioned, it's in your best interest to bring the biggest vehicle you can, all right? So you could minimize trips having to go back and forth. You should have a vehicle big enough to take one whole load, all right? One ledge, all right? So today I got the 7000s and I got the 8000s, right? So you should have a big enough vehicle to take at least like the 7000s or the 8000s. You're not both of them, but I fit both of them in my car. Okay, so yeah. So after that, he set us loose to go work, all right? Or some of them had like some problems with their application, or they needed to do X, Y, Z. So what he told me to do, what my supervisor told me to do, hey, there's those packages that are on the belt right there. You can build a manifest, scan all the packages, and deliver them. All right. So I was like, oh yeah, okay, I gotcha. I've done that many times. All right, guys. So yeah, so that's what I did. I grabbed all the packages that were on the belt. There were the 7000 and 8000s in like the 120 area, man. That's where I delivered. Okay, guys. Oh, you know what interesting about the 120 area? When HadesOmega worked at Golden State overnight, that was my area, 95120 and 95118. All right, guys. I delivered packages for those two zip codes, all right? And here I am again working in the 120s, all right, guys? That's Almaden Valley, man. Yeah, at least it's not Morgan Hill. Okay, just because the center says Morgan Hill doesn't mean all the deliveries are in Morgan. I'm sure they have some in Morgan Hill, though. So my guess is that they're going to try to hook you up with a driver that's close to where you live. I hope, okay? I worked in Almaden Valley today, and I must have put like 50 miles on the car, okay? Last year was totally different. Last year, I worked really close to where I live, okay? I worked, like, literally, I can drive there in like 5 minutes, okay? That's how close my route was last year. Okay, the route that I took today was not. All right, it's out on the other side of where I live on San Jose. I live in like the north part of San Jose. This is the south, the most southern part of San Jose, as Almaden Valley. Okay, guys, that's where I worked. All right, now, yeah, okay, so yeah. So I actually, I got to use a new MDA. All right, guys. I used what's called a Zebra. It says Zebra on it. All right. So the SSDs where HadesOmega works at, they have the regular. It's like I think they call it. It's a Samsung phone. All right. So it's some kind of Samsung phone. It's just like a regular phone. Okay. And then they have this thing called a Zebra. It's made by Zebra or something, and it has a laser scanner on it. It's pretty cool. It has a touch screen and everything. And it's kind of like a phone, but it has a scanner built into it. It's got a scanner and a camera built into it and a GPS and all that stuff, okay? And after using it today, I like it better than the phone, the Samsung phone, okay, guys? It's like a phone, but it's a delivery phone, all right, guys? It's just for that. So, but he said, the supervisor said that you could either get different phone, okay? You can get the other phone one of the nice things about the Zebra phone is you just put your employee ID in and it logs you in right away. The Samsung phone, you have to log in through the Windows app or something, the Windows Cloud or something, and you have to do like a full login on it, man. You got to put your employee number at ups.com. And then you got to put your password, and then they're gonna text you a number, and then you got to put the number. Two-factor authentication. That's what it's called, right? Yeah. Okay, to make sure that you're the person that you are, type of thing. Yeah, man. So the Zebra one is a lot easier to log into. Okay. And I feel like I like the screen better and everything, and the touchscreen is much better. Okay, and it did work with my touchscreen sensitive glove too. So the other phone kind of doesn't. Okay. Also, it has a laser scanner built into it. All right, so the Samsung phone, it uses the camera to scan the packages. The Zebra phone uses a laser scanner. Okay, just like the dyads do. All right, and I like that much better. All right, there's still kind of a little delay when you press the button and then the laser shoots out. Yeah, okay, but I like the laser a lot better. Okay, but yeah, it's basically you just point the laser at the barcode and it will scan it. All right. The other way is like you use the camera and you point the camera at the barcode and it gets it. Okay. I kind of like having the laser. Okay. Also, there's a button to activate it too. So if there's these yellow buttons on the side, you press them and then it shoots the laser out and it starts scanning stuff. Okay. So I like that a lot better. I hope I get that more often. Okay, but if I get the old phone, that's fine, whatever. Yeah, and I have to remember what my old password is and everything. Yeah, man, all the stuff from like last year, I'm like, oh, dang it. I have to figure out what my password is, all right? But I wrote it down just in case. Just in case I forget. All right, so yeah, that was pretty much my first day at work, all right? I scanned the packages. I went to Almaden Valley. I delivered them, okay? I loaded the 8000s first in my car, and then I didn't realize, I got 7000s also. Oh well. So what I did is I loaded the 8000s on the left side of the vehicle because that's the one that's easiest to get to, right? And then I put all the 7000s on the other side, and I was like, hey, when we do we'll do the 8000s first. We'll knock out the 8000s, and then we'll take the 7000s and we'll reshuffle them, right? We'll sort everything and put it on the left side after that, and then we'll deliver those, all right? Piece of cake. I checked it. Yeah, all those packages I scanned was 30 stops worth of packages, okay, guys? Piece of cake, all right? I got almost 6 hours of work today. So literally, all the training and all that stuff to get us ready to go took 3 hours, okay? So we did all that training, and then by the time HadesOmega went out to go do the deliveries, it was already 3 hours had expired already, okay? And then so I had 3 hours to deliver the packages. I was like, man, there's not a lot of packages. You should take your time. Take your time delivering it because I don't think they're going to have anything else for you. Yeah, so it took me roughly 2 hours to finish it, maybe a little, just about 2 hours. It took me about 2 hours to finish the whole route. All right, the stuff that I scanned, and so it was like around like 5.5 hours, something like that. And then so I finish, and I'm like, oh, you know what? We're almost at 6 hours. What do you have to do after 6 hours? You got to take a lunch. And I was like, nah, I don't want to take a lunch. I just want to go home now. I'm kind of tired. You're supposed to send a text message to the center on the MDA saying, hey, I'm done. Do you have any more work? Or like, what do I do now? All right, type of thing. And I sent it. I was like, hey, I'm done with all my work. And nothing. Crickets. All right. And then I wait 10 more minutes. All right. I'm just, you know, I'm at the last stop, wherever my last stop was. And I sent another message after 10 minutes. Okay. Still crickets. So I called them on the phone. All right. So there's a couple ways you can reach the center. All right. There's through the MDA, call them on the phone, or text the supervisor type of thing. Right. I didn't text the supervisor though. So I call the center on my phone. So I'm not gonna lie, my phone is kind of messed up. All right, guys, my phone doesn't like call out properly anymore. So I had to like restart my phone, and then I had to call it. But text messages just work fine all the time. So that's why the texting works good for me. All right, my phone is kind of old, man. So I called them, and I said, hey, I'm an SSD. I'm done with my work. This is Berlin. All right, and then they hung up on me. I was like, what the hell? I went to check to make sure my phone was working fine, and it was working fine. I was like, I don't know, why did they hang up on me? Like, and then so what I did is I waited like 5 more minutes, and I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna hit like 6 hours too, and I'm gonna have to take a lunch, and I'm not gonna be happy if I have to go waste my time at taking a lunch. so what I did was I texted them again on the thing, like, hey, I am done, like. And then somebody finally answered, all right? And then they're, hey, we're trying to find a meet point for you. Like, okay. I wait, and I say, okay. And then they send it, and then it's like, it's 2 miles down the road that way where I just came from. I was like, oh, all right, man, we'll drive back. So if you guys don't know what Almaden Valley is like, it's a valley, all right, guys? Once you go in there, there's only one way to get back out, all right, guys? Unless you want to go take the country route, you know, and that's like that takes you way far away from civilization, okay? So they sent me the meet point. I got there right before my 6 hours were up. Right before I almost hit 6 hours, and then I filled out my time card, and I think that was it. I filled out the time card. I didn't have to take a lunch, so I didn't have to put that in there, and then I had to put how many training hours. I don't know. I think I put 2.5 hours. That's how long the training was. And then then you put your miles in. All right. So you need to put what in the dyad, all right, or the MDA. You put your miles in before you thing, all right. And then when you're finished, all right, you got to put your end miles, all right. And then it'll give you like how many miles you took. And I drove like 17 miles. Okay. 17 miles, and then I forgot to write it down on the card. I had to go back to the driver and like, hey, Lou, I need to. So one thing I forgot to do was I forgot to sign it, and I forgot to put how many miles. Okay, and I think that was it. The time card has some good information on it. All right, so it had something called Sport. Okay, you guys don't know what Sport is? It's stops per hour. All right, type of thing. All right, that's what Sport is. It's how many stops you do in an hour. Okay, guys. And it said 7, all right? And then for Morgan Hill, they said they want you to do 12, all right? That's easy, man. That's a piece of cake. I think I did 30 stops in like 2 hours. That's like 15 an hour. That's, you know, and I could have gone faster. I'm not gonna lie. Well, not yeah. So how did this make it feel? At the end of the day, I was hungry. All right, guys. So I think when I finished the 8,000s. I took like a 10-minute break, and I ate something. Okay, guys. So I can't stress it enough. That I don't know. Everyone is different, but when I deliver packages, it's a lot of physical work, right? And my body just eats up calories like crazy, right? And I get hungry real fast. And if you're hungry, you know, you get tired, you know, that type of thing, right? You don't feel like working anymore. Okay. So bring snacks with you, all right? Bring snacks, bring something to drink. I'm not gonna lie, it was cold, it was really cold today, all right? And I kept on having to go pee, all right? I went pee twice at the warehouse, okay, guys? I went pee right after the training, and then I came back. Oh, right before I left, I went pee, okay, guys? So there's a tip, all right, guys? If you're working out of the warehouse, once you're done loading the packages and you're ready to leave, use the restroom, all right? Because yeah, okay. And then know where the restrooms are on your route, okay? I actually did find one, okay, guys? There's a community center that has like a library and all that stuff. Libraries, there you go. Libraries are a good place to go use the bathroom, okay? Because they're public libraries, okay? And then yeah, so that was pretty much the end of the day. And like yeah, I almost got 6 hours in. I'm kind of tired. All right, HadesOmega here. I'm back again, and so I just wanted to mention like how I felt after the first day of work. All right, so and like my goals for this peak season. Okay, so I was hurting pretty bad after just doing like 30 stops. All right, 30 stops is like nothing, guys. All right. I've done like 120 stops before. 120 is a lot for a SSD. That's what I'm saying. Okay, you're like out there all day long, right? Type of thing. Multiple loads. Okay. I think the most I ever did as a driver, like when I was a driver of the brown trucks, was like 300 something stops. All right, it's ridiculous the amount of work that sometimes they have at UPS. All right, guys. But anyway, yeah, I was super tired after. That's the kind of the way it is every year, guys. You haven't been delivering packages for like a whole year, and so you got to get those package delivery muscles back. Okay, so that's the scoop there. Okay, so that's the only reason I can give why I was like so tired. All right, I was tired and hungry. All right, I should have probably ate before I came to work. But yeah, I was really tired, and I just wanted to go home, and I didn't want to take a lunch. Okay, that's why. So here's some of my goals for this year. All right, so I have bad ankles, okay, guys, from guess what, motorcycle racing. All right, I have like a really bad ankle, and before I used to deliver a lot. I could deliver a lot of packages, and now I can't. All right, my ankles are just getting worse and worse every year. All right, this job gets harder and harder every year for me. Okay, so. So that's why you should do it while you're still youthful, all right, type of thing, all right. But HadesOmega is old and broken, all right. I was in the Army, okay, so I kind of blame that a little bit, all right. Yeah, dude, towards the end of the day, my feet are hurting real bad, all right. So today I wore combat boots, all right, my old combat boots. They want you to wear like a boots to work and stuff, all right, and I do it until my feet hurt, okay, guys? So one thing I found out about the combat boots is that when I'm driving my vehicle, okay, the RAV4, it must be something to do with my seating position or something. When my heel is on the floor, resting on the floor to, step on the gas pedal, my heel gets painful. It starts to hurt, all right? I remember last year it got so painful that it's like, yeah, I just didn't wear the boots anymore. Right? I found that out. I was like, oh, why does my heel hurt so much? It's because it's resting on the floor all the freaking time. All right. I'm not driving Humvees all day, every day in the Army, man. But UPS you are, type of thing. Or you're driving your vehicle, okay? So yeah, I have to wear Crocs, okay, guys? That's or like sandals when my feet start to hurt, okay? So I'll try to wear boots. I know they want you to wear boots just to protect your feet and stuff, but I mean, yeah, if you were to drop a package on your foot and it was pretty heavy, yeah, it's gonna hurt, okay, guys? Also, it's like Crocs are kind of slippery when it gets wet, okay? So maybe when it's wet, I won't wear the Crocs, type of thing, right? So what I do is I wear the boots, and then I carry a pair of Crocs with me, right? So when my feet start to hurt, because my feet, they get swollen throughout the day, okay, guys? And the more swollen they get, the more painful they get, and I was feeling it today, okay? HadesOmega has some like torn ligaments in my ankle or something. That's what my podiatrist told me, and that was hurting today, okay? So I'm not doing it any favors by doing this job, okay, guys? I'm getting some good exercise though, okay? Anyway, so my goal, all right, because I'm kind of injured, is to work at least 5 hours a day. All right, do 5 hours of work every day. All right, maybe do like 50, 60, 70 stops, somewhere around there. Right, nothing crazy. Okay, kind of like last year. Last year was pretty relaxed. All right, but last year was slow. Okay, I don't know how busy it's going to be this year. Okay, guys, but I don't think it's going to be very busy because with all these tariffs and stuff, and the economy's kind of shitty, you know. So yeah, there's that. All right, the Trump economy, man, it's awful. And yeah, so that's a scoop. I wanted to. So my goal is to do like 5 hours a day, right? Just enough so I don't have to take a lunch, and then just go home, rest, or do like Uber on the way home, like I did today, make a couple extra bucks, and then rest the rest of the time, all right? And work on videos because I'm a YouTuber, okay, guys? So that's probably that's my plan for the peak season, okay, guys? Since we started this year, I'm thinking we can make a lot of money, guys. So I put in 6 hours today, and we made $38. All right, I don't know exactly. All right, 38 times 6 is 228, man. That's how much I make with like. That's like twice as much as I make doing Uber, okay, guys? So my goal is to make $100 a day doing Uber, all right? And I just made more than double that, all right? Now, okay, that's before taxes, okay, guys? Okay, after taxes, it's gonna be the government's gonna take all your money, okay, guys? But that's still a lot of money, okay, guys? So HadesOmega is planning to do like just 5 hours a day, you know, somewhere around there. And then, yeah, and then just take it easy the rest of the time, okay? But we started early this year, so HadesOmega is thinking we could make a lot of money this year. All right, that's my guess. All right, and I've never worked at Morgan Hill before, so I don't know how busy it is. The supervisor said they had like 118 SSDs. Okay, that's a lot, and they said they were gonna go out there and watch us for like safety stuff. All right. They're going to supervise us on the road and stuff. All right. I've heard of it. Okay. I've heard of them coming out and watching us. I mean, it's a good thing. All right. I'm not going to lie. Some of these SSDs, they're freaking crazy. Okay, guys. I've heard some crazy stories about the SSDs. All right. They're doing like all this crazy stuff, man. But, I've never had anybody supervise me, all right, in UPS, okay? I worked for the post office before, and I delivered mail, and yes, man, they'll go stalk you, and like they'll follow you, and just make sure and then they'll like make sure they're like evaluating you and all that stuff. Yeah, man, I hate that shit, man. All right, I know they do it at UPS, but as far as I have worked at UPS, I've never had anybody supervising me, except for when I was a driver the first time I drove the big brown trucks. I had a driver trainer with me, okay? He would sit in the jump seat, and then I would deliver the packages, and he would give me tips and stuff, and he would watch my driving and stuff. So yeah, that kind of stuff, all right? But after that, like after when I started doing the SSD stuff, I've never had anybody supervise me, all right? So you could just go out there and do whatever, all right? Just be safe, all right? Don't do anything dumb, all right, guys? Or don't do anything unsafe, right? Type of thing. Because yeah, it's the safety is a big deal at UPS. Okay, so that's all I'm gonna say. Okay, so yeah, so the most I ever made as a SSD or a PVD was like $8,000 in one peak season. All right, that's a lot of money, man. Okay, like Uber. Man, Uber. Yeah, Uber, maybe I could make $2,000 a month, all right? You know, maybe a little more, all right? But, man, $8,000 in the peak season, all right? That's like a little less than a month. I made $8,000. That's incredible, okay, guys? One peak season, I just knocked it out of the park, okay? But I'm not going to lie, I was hurting real bad because of it, okay? Because, like I said, I'm injured, okay, guys? I'm handicapped. All right, so my plan is to just take it easy for the rest of the peak season. All right, I mean it's my first day on the job, man. But yeah, just take it easy, pace myself. All right, try to work at least 5 hours a day. All right, sometimes the work is ridiculously slow. Okay, guys, like sometimes I only get like 4 hours. Okay, and so it's a good idea to pace yourself when you're working out there, okay, guys? Because some days it might be really slow. If it looks like it's really busy, well, then you better bust your ass, okay, guys? So I'll say, all right, if there's packages to deliver, you better hurry up, all right? You don't want to be out there all night freaking delivering packages. That's the worst thing, delivering packages at night, man. And it gets dark really early this year. Okay, so anyway, so that's just my extra 2 cents right there. All right, guys. My plans for this peak season. All right, just take it easy. Try to get 5 hours a day at least. You know, I'm not trying to kill myself this year. Okay, and I'm trying to hopefully by hopefully since we started earlier this year, we can make a lot of money. Okay. I can't remember how much I made last year. I think I made maybe only like 4,000. Not a lot. I didn't make a lot of money last year. I had to look at my video or something. But I specifically remember, but the best peak season I ever had, I took home $8,000 after the end of peak season. Okay, so it was a lot of money, man. And they're paying us a lot of money. Okay, so I think that since they started us this early, and if we can kind of get a rhythm going, I think I can make it close to that $8,000. All right, maybe even exceed it. Well, so that's the goal, to see. Just take it easy, but try to go to work every day and do the thing, right? So, and hopefully we'll make some decent money this year. Also, I paid off my RAV4 this year, so I can save more money now. All right, guys. So, all right. So yeah. So that's some extra info about this year and my first day on the job. All right. What did I do? So here's what I did after. All right, guys. So after I returned the phone and all that stuff to the driver they told me to give it to, I fired up the Uber app and I used the destination filter function. And I put my home address, and then I picked people up going home along the way. All right. I made like $36 trying to get home. That right? As opposed to if HadesOmega had just driven straight home, in traffic, But it did add like an extra like freaking like 2 hours or something to my right. When I went home, it was like rush hour. Okay, it's commuting hours. Okay, real bad. Lots of traffic, man. So I picked out a bunch, like 3 or 4 passengers. And I made it pretty close to home, and I drove straight home, all right? And I made $36 on the way home. So it's basically like how much I do an hour at UPS type of thing, okay? So yeah, that's how much I'm getting paid. $38 an hour, guys. All right, if you're in the San Jose area, it's $38. At least this year, okay? It might change later. Last year, they had us sign on for $28 an hour, and then they bumped us up to $38 an hour. But now they just started off straight off at $38 an hour. They don't want to play any games with us, okay, type of thing. And they said it's probably not going to be super busy until December, right? So remember how I said there's the crawl and the walk phase. So we're like in crawl, going in the walk, all right. The rest of November is probably going to be walk, and then after this beginning of December is the run phase, okay, guys. After Black Friday is when everything will get crazy, okay, guys, and you'll have tons of work, all right, and they're going to expect you to work on Saturdays, okay. I can. And so HadesOmega's an amateur motorcycle racer, and there's a couple days in December I can't. I'm going to have motorcycle races, so yeah. The races got canceled in November, and they got moved to December, dadgummit. So now they're just eating into my work time, dadgummit, all right? Yeah, but that's what it is, man. That's the life of an amateur motorcycle racer, okay? Yeah, okay? So that was my first day on the job, all right, guys? So this is my my early peak season 2025 vlog, all right? You guys get the 411, all right, on how my whole hiring process worked, all right? It took weeks, all right? It took weeks, but I got a really quick start, okay, guys? I started applying the first day of November, all right, guys? And then HadesOmega didn't start working until the middle, okay? So it took about like around 2 weeks for me to actually start working, okay? So just remember that. If you start later, if they start hiring later, it might be quicker, all right? Because the supervisor told us we can't do any work until the 15th, okay? They wouldn't allow, they said the union didn't allow them to start until the 15th. And then my first day of work wasn't until the 19th, and my orientation day was actually the 17th, but I went early, okay, like I mentioned, because the HR guy said, like, hey, you can get this done early. I'm like, okay. So I just went there, and then I went home after, okay? And then yeah, my first day was the 19th, all right? So it took me like 19 days for my first day of work, okay? But that's only because they had that delay, okay? So if you apply outward, maybe closer to December or after today, then the application process might be quicker, right? It might be like a week earlier type of thing, okay? You're expecting to get some work. Yeah, all I can say is just bust your booty, all right? Bust your booty until the end of the year, man. Make that money, all right? Make that money, but be safe doing it, okay, guys? Yeah, I've heard some crazy stories about SSDs doing unsafe stuff, okay, guys? Just try to be safe, all right? Remember, wear your seatbelt all the time, all right? And then, yeah. And don't do anything unsafe, all right, guys? Don't get bit by dogs and stuff, all right? Yeah, so I delivered 30 stops today. I had to return one package. It was a wine package. I rang the doorbell twice, and I knocked, and nobody answered. So I said, oh, well, too bad. You get one of these guys. Okay, so I actually used one info notice today, and then I gave the package back to the driver when I gave him the phone and all that stuff. Okay, so that's the way it works. That's the way they want you to do it. Honestly, it's not good for me to do it that way. All right, if I have to go work in Almaden Valley, I would much rather drive back to the warehouse and then give it back to them at the guard shack. All right, so there's the two ways that you can return the phone. Okay, guys. Just like last year, you meet up with a driver, right? Like I did today, okay? So I'm done with my work, and then they send you to a driver that they give you an address. You meet the driver there, all right? And then you give them your time card and the phone and any packages that you have, okay? Any packages that you have that were non-deliver, okay? Or any packages you picked up, okay? Yeah, they said there's a couple instances where people will want to give you a package, like Amazon package, to return. Okay, guys, so that may happen. Okay, I don't like picking up packages. All right, guys, but I've done it. All right, guys. Okay, so that was that's my early peak season 2025 vlog. All right, look forward to another vlog at the end of peak season 2025, and I will let you know how it went. All right, guys. Historically, after Christmas, no more work. You're pretty much laid off after Christmas, okay? Merry Christmas. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. That type of thing, all right, guys? That's exactly what happens, all right, guys? You get no more thing like, do you want to work? Yes or no? None of that anymore. After Christmas, it's like, that's it, all right? I think... you might get a text later on saying like, hey, thanks for helping out. Bring your vest back to the guard shack or something. That type of thing, all right? But yeah, it's pretty much you get kicked to the curb after Christmas, all right? That's the way it's been for the last couple peak seasons I worked, okay? That's my experience in the San Jose Center, okay? Technically, they can still use SSDs until the 15th, all right, guys? But the last couple years that I've done it, we've always just stopped at Christmas, all right? So that's what I'm expecting, okay? So, all right, so I'll see you guys probably in the new year, okay? In 2026. All right, thanks for watching. HadesOmega out. I hope this was educational and entertaining video, all right? That's my application and first day on the job experience.